Previously, Sally convinced her friend Maple to try out the virtual reality game New World Online. Maple has no prior experience with video games. Sally is unable to join Maple for her first experience because she has to go study. Not knowing any better, Maple invests all her points into defense. She finds that it makes her character extremely slow, but is able to take on high amounts of damage. Leveling up comes easy to her. She asks other players for some tips. She realizes that she wants better armor and a shield, and she asks Chrome for some help. He directs her to Iz, who's a blacksmith. Iz and Kuromu advise Maple to get some coins by exploring the dungeons. They underestimate Maple's lack of knowledge as she takes her advice literally and goes exploring a poisonous dragon's dungeon alone. She's the first person to defeat the dragon and is able to unlock her own unique armor and shield, as well as new capabilities that makes her a poison-resistant tank. Maple decides to take her part in the Battle Royale event, managing to easily defeat everyone who comes across to attack her, and she ends up winning 3rd place. The next day, Riza joins the game as Sally, a swashbuckler specializing in evasion. The two begin visiting the cave each day to allow Sally to explore the cave and improve. Sally defeats the fish monster all by herself underwater. The next day, Maple and Sally head to level 2 to face off against a deer boss, which Sally manages to defeat after Maple gets knocked out. As the second event begins, Maple and Sally discover a hidden dungeon, complete with its own boss, allowing them to earn their first few medals. Heading to the mountains next, the two of them come across Kurome's party, letting them go ahead first through the warp gate. Sally and Maple end up going right after them because they're defeated, and Sally and Maple face off against a powerful iceberg boss, Silverwing, whose overly powerful moves start to overpower Maple's defense, pushing their skills to the limit. Maple and Sally eventually manage to defeat Silverwing with minimal health remaining. Along with more metals and crafting materials, the girls find a pair of monster eggs that eventually hatch into turtle and fox companions, which they name appropriately Syrup and Obaru. Later, the girls reach a desert oasis where they are challenged by Kasumi, the swordswoman, who came in 6th in the last battle. Feeling very disrespected that Maple didn't remember her, Kasumi gets into her stance, asking if she has any gold coins on her. Risa, also known as Sally, draws her blades, ready to battle, while Maple is confused about what's going on, also getting ready to defend herself. Kasumi, not liking her odds of facing 2 opponents, decides not to fight. With Sally not letting her escape, Kasumi uses her hyper speed, with Sally chasing her with super speed, leaving Maple behind, with her slowly running to try and catch up. Deep in the desert, Sally is able to catch up to her with her super speed. Surprising Kasumi, Sally warns her that she's full of surprises. Kasumi then uses her heat haze, creating an image of herself to perform a single slash attack. Sally surprises her again, having dodged the attack with an after image, drawing the first blow. The pair are interrupted by Maple though, who uses her shield like a sled to catch up to them. But because of this, and how heavy she is, she causes a sand vortex, which traps the girls inside a dungeon, with the two girls wanting to continue their battle, but they're stopped. They find binding chains on them that are indestructible chains, with the effect that if one player dies, they all die. Maple promises to protect Sally, making the reserved girl, Kasumi, feel like she's a third wheel. Sally calls for a temporary truce between them, and the 3 girls get along, with Sally and Kasumi walking too fast from strategizing, tripping Maple, but she manages to find a coin. The older girl, Kasumi, allows her to keep on to it since she found it, and the girls agree that they would rather fight monsters than search in a dungeon. Deeper in, the cave is filled with slug-looking creatures that cannot be defeated. Sally assumes that it's unkillable due to not having a health bar, with Kasumi assuming it's a workaround dungeon mechanic. The cave begins to rumble, closing them in. Sally and Kasumi use their super acceleration to reach the cave's exit, where they find the exit to be too high up. Kasumi tells Sally to use her jump, but Sally warns her that she may not be able to make it up to the exit due to the height of it. The girl yells at her to trust her. Sally jumps as far as she can, unable to reach it. Just when she's about to assume her earlier prediction was correct, she looks back to see Kasumi using her skill, Lonely Moon, to travel in an arc, jumping on air and escaping. The girls shake hands and compliment each other and their work. When they open the chest, the 3 of them split the treasure items. That makes sense. Maple gets the shield, Kasumi gets the sword and the spears, and Sally can get a coin, sharing the skills, but also giving Kasumi 1 coin as well, with her being very grateful to her kindness. Kasumi apologizes for attacking the 2 of them, allowing them to punish her however they see fit, and the 2 of them are fine with the PvP attack, but want to add her as a friend, with all the girls doing so. Maple and Sally collect 1 gold and 11 silver coins. Over the days, they travel all over and gain many coins, enjoying the journey. Sally finds Maple playing with Kaede. Kaede tells them that she's rather weak, and they need not fear of her attacking them. With Kaede being level 5, Kaede shows them her cube, being the Akashic Records, that holds a number of secret spells, but does not reveal its abilities to the girls, adding the two of them to a friends list, with also giving them a book that might hold the secret to this event. Sally reads the riddle instructed in the book, but can't make out exactly what it's saying, with Kaede already figuring it out, but refusing to ruin the puzzle for them. But she does, however, guide them to the spot where there's a dry fountain among ruins. Maple suggests filling the fountain with her water spell. Sally uses Torrent, and Maple uses her Hydra Dragons to fill up the fountain, after which they find themselves underwater in a ruined city in a different area. Battle music plays as an octopus-like monster appears with reincarnation abilities. Maple's able to defend and eat its body with her shield, but can't swim to attack it. Sally suggests that they attack its main body, so Maple repeatedly calls for Hydra Dragons until she is able to poison the water and effortlessly slay the monster, turning the beautiful sea to a poisonous death. Sally is lost for words about what she's doing to this game, not able to believe that it actually worked how they won. As a reward, they see the tranquil waters, like in the riddle suggested, receiving 2 medals. The game developers choose to ignore Maple as she defeated another boss monster that they overpower to defeat players, with her being more of a final boss than the actual final boss, deciding to applaud players like Pain for his PvP skills and the Kingdom of the Flame Emperor, Me, for collecting the most medals. The two girls ponder on what they can do to get 2 more medals to reach their goal. Sally tells Maple to hide in the cave while she goes for collecting the remaining 2 medals. Since everyone knows Maple's face, they'll obviously run away. Sally's excited to be let loose again, killing a sibling pair, calling them fresh victims. Effortlessly, with her amazing speed, does a double slash attack to the girl, with the other sibling calling her a monster, as Sally is toying with her prey. Meanwhile, Maple raises the levels of Syrup and Obaru by making them defeat low-leveled monsters, with the monsters screaming for their life, saying, "Oh no, I'm dead!" Turn back to Sally, and she's slaughtering a party of adventurers, like a demon in the night, as they cower in fear. After a night worth of fighting, she comes back with 2 medals. Inside the cave, Kasumi appears, this being because it's the final day, with there being a widespread PvP battle, with her deciding to hide out. Maple hears this and decides to close off the entrance to the cave with an instant death poison, surprising Kasumi, with Sally being used to it by now. Maple wins another game of shogi, with Kazumi wanting to play so she can defeat her. The event ends, party having 1 gold coin and 20 silvers. Maple trades in the medal for a Megamorph skill for Syrup, learning Psychokinesis and Acid Rain, while Syrup is learning Super Size, with this being Maple's grand idea, horrifying the girls as they can hear the screams of the monster she's attacking. Risa warns Kaede that her body has been working for a week straight due to the virtual reality's realistic features, so it's best to take it easy today. Kaede ends up sleeping in class, talking in her sleep about game terminology, with her body's reaction time staying in character in-game. In-game, Sally informs Maple that there's a new insect-type monster that only appears in the bright zones, and if they catch it, this new feature allows players to be given exclusive rights to purchase a guild house. Up until now, players have been staying overnight in inns, with those days finally coming to an end. Sally already scored one of the bugs, with the two of them already storing tons of gold to easily buy any house they want. The montage starts throughout the town, but no house feels just right for them, with the most expensive ones being taken already by the past winners of the events. With Mi's charisma as a leader makes her guild the largest, as well as Pain taking the top players, making a group of his own called the Congregation of the Holy Swords, with Pain being level 60 by now, as the #1 player in the game. Maple and Sally are almost at level 30. Maple and Sally find a treehouse in the forest, with the house making them feel like they have a secret hideout. The two instantly buy it, forming a new guild. The guild is able to hold 50 players, so they send out messages to their recent friends, with Chrome and Iz walking together, making Sally ask them if they're on a date, with Iz saying he wishes. Chrome recognizes Kasumi for her placing in the event, and the two of them are willing to join only if Maple is the leader. The girl was hesitant at first, wondering why they want her, but she accepts it, giving her introduction speech as the leader and naming the guild Maple Tree. Maple, Iz, and Kaede go out, riding the flying turtle throughout the town, with Iz mentioning to Maple that this is why she's the talk of the town, with Maple not realizing she's a famous person in the game. The three of them mine for materials. The Akashic Records give Kaede a random skill each day, with it being really cool it is. Maple handles the combat while they look for some materials, with Sally also doing the same. Chrome is curious why she's glowing blue, with this being Sally's sword dance move, giving her enhanced strength stats, being very handy in battle. Kasumi is shocked to learn that Maple is even stronger than her, making her wonder how high her stats actually are. Kurome and Kasumi join the battle, happy to have such a unique guild with so many unknown abilities, unable to tell what's normal anymore. In their guild meeting, Kurome has a suggestion for the 3rd and 4th event. The third event is easy, being a hack and slash monster drop system. The fourth event, however, might pose a challenge to the guild, with this being another time sped up event. The Maple Tree doesn't have many members, and everyone's schedules are different, so he suggests they add more players for the upcoming guild event, with everyone on board for the idea, giving Maple the final word on who's able to join the guild, with her wanting to add someone who's a friend rather than someone who's just strong. Maple and Sally are on the second level, which is meant for the stronger players, and they can't seem to find any good recruits, so they go down to the first level. Maple remembers seeing two set of twin sisters. The two girls have been having some trouble in the game, with them finding it rather difficult to level up. Yu and Mai have both maxed out their strength stats, and the two girls are nervous about joining the guild, but after Sally and Maple introduce themselves and take them to a cafe, the two girls want to join. Seeing that Maple maxed out her vitality, they're finding her own playstyle, wanting to be just like her. Maple takes them flying on Syrup, with her being the legendary player everyone's been talking about, and the four of them form a party to fight the forest deer. Mai and Yu are afraid, repeatedly telling them just how weak they are, but the older girls tell them not to worry. Sally makes a shadow clone, performing a sword dance attack, defeating the deer, and the two of them are introduced to the guild, but they nervously break the table in their bow, and Sally imagines the three Maples running around terrorizing the game. Maple goes out the next day to assist the new members on leveling up, defeating the same monsters Maple did in the dungeon, doing it 10 times, with Maple making a speed run out of it, trying to defeat the monster in under 3 minutes, using her poison bubble and devour skill, with everyone being shocked that Mai and Yu reach level 20 by the end of the day, with them also adding in that they added some new skills, being the Conquer and Destroyer skill, which is going to boost their strength by 2 times, and increasing their vitality, agility, and intelligence cost by 3 points, adding the stats onto their already increased strength, with them now able to use 2-handed weapons with 1 hand, shocking the guild, realizing this is what happens when you leave Maple in charge of them. Iz gifts them crystal hammers. Kaede is at the library, doing a quest of her own that she can only acquire today. Kasumi is also doing a quest, going out for a material run for Iz, and Sally takes the two twins out for some training, teaching them how to avoid attacks, with agility being their weakness. Kurome wants a new armor set of his own, feeling like he's too weak now in comparison to everybody else, revealing his plot for world domination to Maple's turtle, scaring the turtle, with this only being a joke. While Kaede also got a new skill called Spell Stash. The book now allows her to store spells, with them now having an instant cast time. Kasumi finds Maple in a pile of wool, with this being her new skill, with her suggesting she can now sell infinite wool, but being the poison enthusiast that she is, she shows Kasumi her new idea, being a poisonous ball of death. Kurome defeats the Undead King, gaining the Grave of the Dead shield collections, being a unique series, only allowed to complete it because he died so many times, admitting he's the king of that. This gear also changes his appearance, with him now looking like an edgelord. While Maple is walking through the town, she hears a coughing girl and a worried mother. Maple starts an NPC 4-part chain quest as the Benevolent Knight. To complete it, the mother must make it to her destination without dying. The developers did not expect her to just simply fly over the obstacles. She then gives the family a beginner ring that she received early on. The ring curses the little girl, with Maple having to battle the ghost. The completion reward is a new skill called Loving Sacrifice. Maple asks Iz to make her a new armor set just for the skill, showing off the new skill Loving Sacrifice, changing her appearance to an angel. Loving Sacrifice allows her party members to be protected by cover, while Maple takes all the hits onto herself, granting Maple a defensive stat to all our party members, meaning as long as Maple's alive, the members are practically invincible in battle, with Iz worrying the rest of them, with her vitality stats being over 1000, with Maple forgetting the actual number. Payne's guild holds a meeting to discuss the next event, going over Mii's guild and also taking notice of Maple's guild, ordering them to spy on them. Payne being very worried, not liking the unknown variables in battle. And that's where we're gonna leave off in today's video, and I'll be splitting this anime into multiple parts. As always, if you like what you saw here, subscribe to the channel. I'll be uploading videos a lot like this one, so I'll see you next time.